Have you ever felt completely drained after spending time with certain people? It's as if they've sucked all the energy right out of you, leaving you feeling exhausted and depleted. If this sounds familiar, you might have encountered energy vampires. In this video, we'll explore the world of energy vampires, learn how to spot them, and discover effective ways to protect yourself from their draining influence. Energy vampires are individuals who often unknowingly drain the emotional and mental energy of those around them. They can leave you feeling tired, stressed, and emotionally drained after interacting with them. These people come in various forms, and their impact on your well-being can be significant if you don't know how to handle them. Let's start by understanding what energy vampires are and how they operate. Energy vampires are people who consistently drain the emotional and mental resources of others. They might not even realize they're doing it, but their behavior and interactions leave those around them feeling exhausted and depleted. These individuals often have a knack for drawing attention to themselves and their problems, constantly seeking validation, sympathy, or support from others. There are several types of energy vampires you might encounter in your daily life. The constant complainer is someone who always finds something negative to focus on, no matter the situation. They'll talk endlessly about their problems, real or imagined, without ever taking steps to address them. Their pessimism can be contagious, bringing down the mood of everyone around them. Another type is the drama queen or king. These individuals thrive on creating and sustaining dramatic situations. They blow small issues out of proportion and seem to attract conflict wherever they go. Being around them can feel like being on an emotional roller coaster, leaving you feeling dizzy and drained. The attention seeker is another common type of energy vampire. These people have an insatiable need for attention and will go to great lengths to get it. They might interrupt conversations, dominate discussions, or create situations where they're the center of attention. Dealing with them can be exhausting as they constantly demand your energy and focus. Lastly, there's the chronic victim. This type of energy vampire always sees themselves as the victim of circumstances, other people, or the world at large. They refuse to take responsibility for their actions or situation, instead blaming everyone and everything else. Interacting with them can leave you feeling frustrated and helpless. Recognizing the signs that you're dealing with an energy vampire is crucial. You might notice physical symptoms like feeling tired or drained after spending time with them. You might experience headaches, muscle tension, or a general sense of fatigue. Emotionally, you might feel irritable, anxious, or overwhelmed. You might find yourself dreading interactions with certain people or feeling a sense of relief when plans with them are cancelled. Your behavior and mood might also change when dealing with energy vampires. You might become more withdrawn or less enthusiastic about activities you usually enjoy. You might find yourself adopting negative thought patterns or feeling less confident in your abilities. These changes can be subtle at first, but over time, they can have a significant impact on your overall well-being. Understanding why people become energy vampires can help us approach the situation with empathy while still protecting ourselves. Often, energy vampires have underlying psychological issues or unresolved personal problems. They might have low self-esteem, anxiety, or depression. Some might have experienced trauma or neglect in their past, leading them to seek constant validation and support from others. In some cases, energy vampires might have narcissistic tendencies or other personality disorders that make it difficult for them to empathize with others or recognize the impact of their behavior. While understanding these factors doesn't excuse their behavior, it can help us respond more effectively and compassionately. Protecting your energy is crucial for your mental and physical health. When you're constantly exposed to energy vampires, it can lead to chronic stress, burnout, and even physical health problems. Your relationships with others might suffer as you have less energy to invest in positive interactions. Your work performance might decline, and you might find it harder to pursue your personal goals and interests. To protect yourself from energy vampires, you need to be able to identify them. This involves observing behavior patterns in the people around you. Do you consistently feel drained after interacting with certain individuals? Do they always seem to have a crisis or problem that needs your attention? Do they rarely show interest in your life or reciprocate support. Trusting your instincts is also important. Often your body and subconscious mind will pick up on energy-draining interactions before your conscious mind does. If you feel uncomfortable or tense around someone for no apparent reason, it might be a sign that they're an energy vampire. Once you've identified energy vampires in your life, there are several techniques you can use to protect yourself. Setting boundaries is one of the most important strategies. This involves clearly communicating your limits and sticking to them. For example, you might limit the amount of time you spend with energy-draining individuals or set specific topics that are off-limits in your conversations. Limiting your exposure to energy vampires is another effective strategy. This might involve reducing the frequency of your interactions or finding ways to interact in group settings rather than one-on-one. In some cases, you might need to distance yourself from particularly draining individuals for the sake of your own well-being. Energy shielding practices can also be helpful. These are mental techniques that involve visualizing a protective barrier around yourself. Before interacting with known energy vampires, you might imagine yourself surrounded by a bubble of white light or a protective shield. While this might sound a bit abstract, many people find that this mental practice helps them maintain their emotional boundaries and resist energy-draining influences. When you do need to interact with energy vampires, having effective response strategies can make a big difference. One approach is to redirect conversations away from negative topics or constant complaints. You might acknowledge their feelings briefly and then steer the conversation towards more positive or constructive topics. Another strategy is to avoid getting pulled into drama or conflicts. When an energy vampire tries to involve you in their latest crisis, you can offer a brief, sympathetic response without getting emotionally invested. You might say something like, "That sounds challenging. I hope things improve for you," and then change the subject or excuse yourself from the conversation. It's also important to avoid feeding into their need for constant attention or validation. Instead of providing lengthy responses or getting drawn into extended discussions, keep your interactions brief and to the point. This can help discourage energy-draining behavior while still maintaining a basic level of politeness. Self-care practices are essential for replenishing your energy, especially if you can't avoid all interactions with energy vampires. Mindfulness and meditation can be powerful tools for restoring your mental and emotional balance. Even a few minutes of quiet reflection or deep breathing can help you center yourself and shake off negative energy. Physical exercise is another great way to boost your energy levels and improve your mood. Whether it's a brisk walk, a yoga session, or a high-intensity workout, moving your body can help release endorphins and clear your mind of negative thoughts. Engaging in hobbies and passions is also crucial for maintaining your energy levels. When you spend time doing things you love, whether it's reading, painting, gardening, or playing music, you're investing in your own well-being and building up your emotional reserves. Building a supportive network of positive influences is another important aspect of protecting your energy. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. These are the individuals who leave you feeling energized and motivated after spending time with them. Cultivate these relationships and prioritize them in your life. Learning to say no is a powerful skill when it comes to protecting your energy. Many of us struggle with this, especially if we're naturally helpful or empathetic people. However, it's important to recognize that you can't pour from an empty cup. By saying no to energy-draining requests or invitations, you're saying yes to your own well-being. Prioritizing your own needs doesn't make you selfish. In fact, by taking care of your own energy levels, you'll be better equipped to help others when it truly matters. Practice declining invitations or requests that you know will drain you. You don't need to provide lengthy explanations. A simple, "I'm not able to do that," or "that doesn't work for me," is sufficient. While it's important to protect yourself from energy vampires, it's also worth considering how you might help them change their behavior. This is particularly relevant if the energy vampire is someone close to you, like a family member or longtime friend. Encouraging self-awareness can be a good first step. You might gently point out patterns in their behavior and how it affects others. However, it's important to remember that you're not responsible for changing someone else's behavior. In some cases, particularly if the energy-draining behavior is linked to mental health issues or deep-seated personal problems, professional help might be needed. You can suggest this option if you feel it's appropriate, but ultimately, the decision to seek help must come from them. In conclusion, protecting your energy from energy vampires is an essential skill for maintaining your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. By learning to identify energy vampires, implementing protective strategies, and prioritizing your own needs, you can create a more balanced and positive life for yourself. Remember, you have the power to control your own energy and choose how you interact with others. It's not selfish to protect your well-being, it's necessary. By maintaining healthy boundaries and focusing on positive relationships, you'll have more energy to invest in the things and people that truly matter to you. As we wrap up this video, I encourage you to reflect on your own experiences with energy vampires. Have you encountered any of the types we discussed? How have they affected you, and what strategies have you found helpful in dealing with them? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights might help others who are struggling with similar situations. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel for more content on personal growth and well-being. Remember, protecting your energy is an ongoing process, and it's okay to adjust your strategies as you learn and grow. Stay tuned for our next video, where we'll explore more ways to cultivate positive energy and build resilience in your daily life. Until then, take care of yourself and your energy. You deserve it.